The best way for you to let go of your past is for you to stop focusing on all the negative and all the bad experiences that you had, whether it was people, places, and opportunities. Until you start focusing on the positive things that you've experienced in life and learn from it, you are not going to be able to move forward. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then that means it's not in a line, which means it is not for you. So grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. For the month of May, we have been going over and discussing how life is going to change, which means nothing in life is going to last forever. But for today's video specifically, we're going to talk about how you can let go of what no longer serves you, so therefore you become the person, so therefore you can become, the person you want to be, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, and some disclaimers. So starting off the introduction, starting off the first disclaimer. The longer you focus on people and places and things that you're meant to outgrow, the longer you're going to struggle. The only reason why you're struggling is because you have not let go. Say it with me, put it in the comment section. The only reason why you're struggling is because you have not let go. So the second disclaimer is realizing that just because you had certain experiences and you used to think a certain type of way and used to be a certain type of way, and maybe you lived in a certain environment or you used to do certain things, doesn't mean that your feelings were not valid and that you didn't go through these experiences and opportunities, but it no longer exists. It exists in your mind, and that's why you're depressed. That's why you have PTSD. That's why you have BPD and CPD. That's why you're depressed. That's why you feel anxious. That's why you have all these labels and attachments. You don't have to be paralyzed. You feel me? You don't have to continue to be angry and frustrated and overwhelmed and resentful or bitter or envious. Once you realize, okay, yes, you went through these things. Yes, certain things happen to you, but there's a reason and you can come up with a solution. So the third disclaimer is knowing that as you are releasing what no longer serves you, you learn to grieve and accept what was. And in order for you to grieve and accept what was, which is going to be the fourth disclaimer, you have to be able to acknowledge how certain situations in your past affected you. Now, of course, because healing is not a one size fit all, it may not happen overnight. It may not happen in 24 hours. Like, once you decide to heal yourself, once you decide to elevate, once you turn on your post notifications and you're subscribed, you're going to raise your vibration. You are going to put in the work. Things are going to change. But it requires work, it requires energy, and it requires effort. You have to be willing that if you grew up a certain type of way, if you were programmed to think less of yourself, to be a people pleaser, to have BPD, CPD, be anxious, to be envious, learning to let go of these thoughts and emotions is going to require you to practice. It's going to require you to create positive affirmations. It's going to require you to see a therapist, to see a psychiatrist. If not, turning on your post notifications and subscribing, liking, and engaging, and booking your service in a session, which is in the description. Like, it's going to require you to do things differently. And when you do things that are different for the first time, it's going to probably feel uncomfortable. And that is the fourth disclaimer. It is okay to not always know how certain things are going to turn out as long as you want the opportunity. So just because you may be afraid to let go of certain people and places and things because that's all you were familiar with, doesn't mean that you letting go of those things is a bad thing. But just knowing that if you want to do things differently, if you want better, you have to be okay with realizing that nothing in life is going to last forever. Like, it's not set in stone. So just because you grew up in poverty, just because you were a people pleaser, just because you grew up around narcissists, just because whatever it was that you went through, doesn't mean that your entire life has to stay like that forever. And I'm speaking from experience. So lastly, before we get to the recommendations, when it comes to you not focusing on negative thoughts and people and places and things, you really do have to validate how you feel. Like, you have to express your anger. You have to accept your anger. Like, and you have to take your time doing it. Like, some people can, talk about how they feel. They can journal, they can see a therapist, they can see a psychiatrist, they can do the exercises, and they can move on. And some people it may take them months. Some people it may take them years, depending on how many trials and tribulations and how long you've been holding it on to. And that's going to lead us into the first recommendations. You have to let go of everything. Everything that you sweep underneath the rug, it has to be lifted up. Everything that you push down, it has to come out, because it's all internally. Like, your mindset, your emotions, okay, If you are a negative person, there's a reason why you have negative thoughts. You have to be willing and decide that I don't want to continue to focus on this. So that's the first thing. It's just acknowledging that you don't want to hold on to it and that you're okay with validating your emotions. So how you go about doing this, which is going to be the second recommendation, you need to write down what happened to you and how it made you feel. And when you do this, don't rush. Take your time. So if you were taken advantage of, you need to write down, I was taken advantage of, put that person's name, say their name. You need to say exactly what happened to you, because if you do not accept what has happened to you and who did it to you, you're going to be angry, you're going to be bitter. Then you need to acknowledge why you felt angry and bitter. I felt angry because such and such did this. Then lastly, I want you to ask yourself if you feel like you should continue to feel that way. Because I know I'm not. Like, there are certain people and places and things who went out their way, who tried. They didn't do it. It didn't work. But there were a lot of people who tried to talk ish and do all these low vibrational, scummy, scuzzy, like grotty, just ill, just so degrading like things to me. But instead of me being angry and bitter at the people, I just had to write down what happened to me, acknowledge how I felt, and like I said, just ask myself if I deserve this or not. And my answer was no. You know why? Because I know, and you should know, that if you know you're doing the right thing and you're minding your business, this doesn't mean that you're perfect, but if you know you're not out here causing confusion or corruption and chaos, if you know you're doing the best you can and you may not have like all the resources and all the tools, why should you be worried about people and places and things who are not for you and who are never meant to be for you in the first place? Why would I worry about certain people, places, jobs, and environments when I know they were never pouring into me the way that I was when I was there? Why would I lose sleep about people gossiping about me when they're not even people I would want to be friends with? I would never do business with you. I would never want to claim that I'm related to you. I would never even like tell anyone that I know you. Like, all to y'all shade. For what? You shouldn't continue to focus on certain people, places, and things when they don't allow you to be you. Like, why would I want to be around people who have parasocial relationships, or people who are possessive, or just low vibrational? Why would I want to be surrounded by people who gossip and talk about everybody and like, but whole time are envious of you? Like, why would you want to be around people who are envious of you? Why do you want to be around people who talk about you? Why would you want to believe in people who make fun of you or try to, because that's not cool. They're not better than you. I want you to know that. Nobody who talks about you, nobody who tries to get you fired, nobody who tries to hurt and harm you, nobody who tries to mentally do manipulation or control you, they're not better than you. They will never be better than you. So the fourth recommendation is knowing that in order for you to continue to not focus on these people in these places and things and these mindsets, is knowing that you are going to have moments where you're going to have to be extremely vulnerable and hold yourself accountable to your emotions. So like, some days you're going to feel like, okay, I feel good, and then some days you may have certain ideas. And when people and places and things try to like come back into your life, or they try to like rekindle relationships, if you don't have discernment, you need to see it for what it is. If you know someone like try to hurt and harm you, me personally, I don't believe in second chances. I will never ever forever, like ever you will never, you're done. Because it's just like, why would, once you regulate your emotions and you start to make sense and you start to get one-on-one to get to, why would you put yourself in situations for people who try to hurt and harm you to be around you again? Like, no. You need to talk about how you feel, because like, when you're going through your emotions and you're validating, because it's a lot. Like, if you grew up around narcissists, if you grew up in poverty, if people bullied you, if people treated you horribly, if people cheated on you, if people lied on you, if people got you fired, if people touched on you, like, you know what you went through. Why would you once again want to be around these people? But you have to realize, like, learning to go through the ups and downs, that's all it is. But it's like, the more you are able, like I said, to understand, like, if you feel like you deserve these things and you're coming up with solutions, which is going to be the fifth recommendation, you're not going to want to hold on to it. You're going to be like, oh, let me cut this off so that if I can move forward. Because I'm telling you from experience, the more you take the time to remove certain people and places and things who are not for you, the more you're able to receive the things that are. Like, people say that all the time. In order for you to make room for the things that you want, you have to let go of certain people, places, and things. And you don't need to be afraid because that's all you knew, but you just have to trust that there is better. The only reason why you don't think it's better is because you're holding on to people and places and even mindsets and beliefs. Like, you're gonna outgrow things in life, you're gonna change, that's fine. Anything or anybody is not willing to support you or be proud of you genuinely without having hidden motives or being envious or being a weirdo, you don't need to be around them anyways. Why would you want to be in a relationship with people who don't love you for you without judging you? Like, you're not better than someone for judging them. Why would you want to work in an environment where people don't promote you or celebrate you or try to talk down on you? Why would you want to be associated with people, relatives, or people like intimately? Why would you, like, for what? It's no reason. Why would you want to live somewhere where you know it's draining you or it's not, you know, pouring into you, or it's trying to make you dim your light? So it's like the best way for you to create positive emotions and positive memories is to let go of the things that don't. And the more you stop worrying about what has happened to you and why it had to happen to you and what you can do moving forward, the more you will create new opportunities and create new experiences. So if you guys want specific solutions, let me know what you're going through in the comment section down below, as well as what you're relating to. If not, book your service in a session. All the information to all my social media platforms, including my website, is in the description. And just make sure you guys are subscribing and liking and engaging. But I love you. You're not alone, okay? Learning to create positive memories is a blessing and it's opportunity and it's experience that I'm sure you want for yourself. So it's just like, take the time to let go. Take the time to heal. Take the time to, like I said, validate your anger, validate your frustration, continue to seek therapists. Or for those of you who believe in like God, ancestors, the universe, take what resonates, leave the rest, because I'm not here to force religion and spirituality. Continue to build that relationship and connection. And I'm telling you, once you let go of everything that does not serve you, you're not gonna have nothing to worry about. And like, everything that's not for you is just not gonna have access to you. And I'm telling you, that's one of the best feelings in the entire world, knowing that what's for you is always going to be for you and what's not, let it reject you. Like, a lot of times before I end off this video, so many of you get frustrated because certain things didn't work out, or certain jobs or certain opportunities or certain environments didn't align with you. It wasn't going to help you. Like, sometimes you think you want certain things and you get it and it's like, ugh, I don't want this. Or sometimes you don't get certain things and you get upset, and then you look at it later and you're like, I thank my God, I thank the ancestors, I thank the universe that I did not stay in these environments, or I didn't continue to have these mindsets and these beliefs, because it would have delayed you, or it would have hindered you, or it would have made you feel like, oh my gosh, like it just would drain the living life out of you. So be grateful, okay? Thanks for watching.